I'm going to show you how to assemble this gorgeous spring flower bouquet, and it's part of our paper flower garden series. This tutorial comes in 4 parts. In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the filler and then put the bouquet together. For this bouquet, you'll need the kit, scissors, a hot glue low temperature glue gun and glue, wire cutters with the needle nose plier, 60 22 gauge wire, and 15 18 gauge wire. You'll also need some floral tape. I'm going to start with the eucalyptus. You can see there's these little eucalyptus pods, and there are 10 of these in your kit. You might want to try this out just so that they don't rip. And go ahead and pop that out. And just tear around it to make it easier, and then pull out the excess so I don't tear off the little pods. So you have 10 of these and 28 of the leaves that go with the eucalyptus. So I figure I'm going to use at least 2 leaves per pod, and then you have a few extra leaves as well, and I'll show you how I assemble those. So there's one, and then the eucalyptus leaves have different sizes. Here's a small one and a large one, and then I'll grab a couple extra. So the leaves have a score mark, and you just want to fold those right down the middle. And if you want to, you can give it some extra shape just by using your scissors and curling. You don't have to do this, it's just an option. But I'll go ahead and fold all of the leaves. And here I'm going to use one of my 18 gauge wires. And for the eucalyptus, the seeds, I'll place some glue right down the stem of the seed and place that on the wire. Then before that dries, I'm going to add a leaf on one side and then a leaf on the other. When you're making a bouquet, it's really good to keep all of your leaves and your greenery towards the end. Actually, I think I did that upside down. You can do it either way. You can either do it with the round side out or the pointed side out. So I'm doing one of each. Just add some variety. So when you're doing these green fillers for your bouquet, you want to keep all your leaves at the end of the wire because they'll be tucked into the bouquet, and if they're leaves down on the wire, it won't even show, so don't even bother with that. You can also add a little bit of texture and shape if you want to some of these pods by either using the edge of your scissors, or you can also use a dowel. So this is what I would do for the eucalyptus pods. I'm going to just fold that over to give it some different shape. Or if you just have a leaf, do the same thing. What I find is that paper glues to paper better than it glues to wire. So it always works if you can sandwich your wire between the paper. Now, once this is done, if you want to, you can cover this with floral tape. It won't show a lot in the bouquet, so if you don't do it, it's all right. If you want a really super finished bouquet, go ahead and cover that with floral tape. Another one of the greens that we have in the kit are these lemon leaves. And I would do the same thing with these. You just pop them out. You can see the score mark there. Fold them along the score mark. And in this case, since they are so large, I think it's best to give it some shape with your scissors or with the dowel. And then we'll bring in a wire and do the same thing with some glue. Place the wire, and again, do them at an angle so that you have more leaves showing. If you go top over top, it doesn't show quite as well. And notice I've put one leaf one direction and then the other leaf the other direction, because when they're inside of your bouquet, you know, they'll be going, you know, showing all different faces, so I'm just adding some variety. If you want to, again, cover that with floral tape. It's okay if you don't. So we also have Dusty Miller, and we have this really delicate Queen Anne's lace. The Dusty Miller, repeat exactly what we did with the lemon leaf, where you glue 2 at the end of the wire. So paper to paper with the wire between. Takes a little bit of work to pop these out because you don't want to rip them. And we have different sizes, so I'm going to glue a larger one and a smaller one together. And you have a total of 20 of these, so you can make 10 stems. And then the Queen Anne's lace, you have 16 of these, so if you glue 2 on a wire, you have 8 total stems. Very delicate. Take a minute to pop them out. And there's some little pieces inside here that we want to pop out as well. For these little tiny pieces, you can use a skewer. And you can add a little bit of shape very carefully, running this along the edge of your scissors. I'm going both directions. This makes it look less like a piece of paper and more like a real Dusty Miller. I have my wire, run it down the stem of one, place it on the wire, and then cross that with the other one. And you can cover this with floral tape or not. And then the Queen Anne's lace. I'm placing one going one direction and then the other going the other direction. So that way I can just move it straight down the wire. And that's ready to add into your bouquet. If you want to, you can cover it with floral tape. Assembling a bouquet is where you can get really creative. Now, I used to own a flower shop and we would make bridal bouquets every week. And one of the things that I note when I'm making a paper flower bouquet is I do it backwards. So normally with a flower, actual real flower bouquet, I would start with the greenery and then add in the flowers. In this case, I'm going to start with the flowers and then the greenery last. And I pick out my largest flower first. I use my hand to hold the bouquet one at a time, and I place it. I might even put a mirror in front of me so I can see it from all directions. Place all the flowers in one at a time. So I'll start with the largest flower first. I'll add in the hydrangea, which is the second largest flower, and then place in all the ranunculus. And then once I have those sort of arranged the way I like them, I'll start sliding in the different fillers and greenery until it looks exactly like I want it. Now, another thing about these paper flower bouquets that's so great is that you can rearrange and move things around because they're on wire stems. That makes it so easy. And once you're done, you're still holding it with your hand. You'll take this and add some tape on the bottom so that it holds it together really tightly. You might want to bend your wires up so that nothing's poking you at the bottom. And then you can wrap your stem with a ribbon to finish it off, or you can just place it right into a vase. If you're working with a vase, you might want to use foam, or you can just freestyle arrange it as well. So again, a lot of creativity. This is where you can have fun. You can make a bouquet, and if you're done with that bouquet, you can take it apart and use it for other projects as well.